Hello everyone, this is part 14 of my shelf by shelf challenge, and this was a very tricky shelf. I had a lot of classics on this shelf. I had a lot of aspirational reads, and the point of this shelf by shelf challenge for me is to really go through each shelf and decide whether or not I really truly do want to read the books on that shelf. And it's amazing how many of these extremely famous books I have never read, mostly just because I did not want to really read them. I really had no drive. There's so many other books that I wanted to read, new releases, prize winners. So I didn't really get into too many of these books, but mostly what I was doing here is trying to figure out which of these books I actually want to read. So I'm going to go through and tell you, I'm going to start with the books, mostly by author, what I decided. So John le Carré, I had two books left by him. I had Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and I had The Constant Gardener. Actually, this was badly planned. This could have gone better. I read another book by this author. I read The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. I really, really wanted to read that one. I mean, really wanted to enjoy that book. And I know it's such a famous book, so I struggled with it the whole time. Actually, there were chapters I really enjoyed, and then there were chapters that I just had such a hard time with, but I decided to set it aside to reread again at some other time. I ended up unhauling another John le Carré book. I think it was called The Russia House last year. I'm going to keep Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy for another day, and I'm going to unhaul The Constant Gardener because the beauty of used book shopping is I will run into these books again so many times. And if I want to get it, I will buy it. And now that I've gone through this challenge and done 14 parts already, I have a much better idea of what I really do want to read and what maybe one day I will want to read, but maybe not today. But the priority here is cleaning out my shelves and really making my shelves about the books I want to read, so I don't get anxiety, because I am starting to get anxiety looking at my shelves and thinking like, oh, look at all these books I do want to read, but then I have all these other books that I think I want to read, but not really. So I'm going to let The Constant Gardener go. Charles Dickens, I'm just going to hold on to. I have Great Expectations and A Tale of Two Cities. That's a challenge I do want to take on. In terms of Toni Morrison, I have The Bluest Eye, Beloved, Sula, and Song of Solomon I'm going to keep. And then I'm going to let go A Mercy and Paradise. Because again, I've been hoarding all these Toni Morrison books, having only read Beloved by her, which I think I liked. I think I was very scared by it, but I read it as a child. It was a ghost story. So I'm going to make a priority to actually read these 4 books. And if I do feel like I need to read A Mercy and Paradise, I will find it very quickly and read it. Doris Lessing, I have tried reading The Golden Notebook in the past. I do want to revisit it and read it, but I am going to let The Cleft go. This book is just so badly rated, so badly criticized, so I really have no interest in reading it, but I do want to prioritize The Golden Notebook. Again, I will find these books again. They are so easy to buy. Virginia Woolf, I have read Mrs. Dalloway, and I have read A Room of One's Own. Very challenging books. I don't think I enjoyed them, but I do want to revisit them. But I'm going to hold on to The Lighthouse, The Waves, and Orlando, and I'm going to let this copy of To the Lighthouse go because it is kind of dingier, and I'm going to let Night and Day go, just because I needed to choose one. If I'm going to keep hoarding Virginia Woolf books, I'm never going to read any of them. So I'm going to hold on to these. I'm going to keep all of my James Joyce because he is a challenge I want to experience. I'm going to keep Half of a Yellow Sun because the plot is really interesting. And I'm going to let Purple Hibiscus go because I'm not interested in the plot. That's really all there is to it. I think I've tried to read it in the past and I just couldn't get through it. Again, maybe I'll find it again in the future and read it then. I'm going to keep both of these books, Homegoing and Transcendent Kingdom by Agassi. Both books seem amazing, even though I haven't really started. I sort of started this one, and it was nice. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep all my Cormac McCarthy books because I have never read a Cormac McCarthy book I never liked. I mean, I have never read a Cormac McCarthy book that I didn't like. So I'm just going to hold on to these. Even though Stella Maris and The Passenger are terribly rated. And I think I started The Passenger when it came out, and I was like, what is this? But you know what? When I get to them, I'll get to them. But I am going to try to read at least one Cormac McCarthy book a year until I get through these, because he really is an amazing writer. I have decided to let all my Henry James books go. I have never read a Henry James book, and I don't think I want to go through that challenge. I need to pick my battles, and I'm going to let all these go. So I think the reason I became so obsessed with collecting Henry James was because I read a book about reading at some point, and the author went on and on about Henry James. Also, I read Reading Lolita in Tehran, which I really enjoyed, and there was a whole chapter on Daisy Miller, and I got really inspired to read Daisy Miller, and then I got like multiple copies of it, and then I never read it. I think I tried reading it, and I just couldn't get excited about it, so I'm just going to cut my losses and let Henry James go. Maybe I will meet Henry James later in life, but not today. I want to clear up my shelves for books that I am super excited to read right now. Anyway, so I ended up, this shelf was kind of a weird one for me. I did a lot less reading and a lot more thinking and planning and maybe reading reviews. And but yeah, I'm surprised. I think I got almost close to half of the books just gone off this shelf. So anyway, thank you for watching. I think next shelf I choose will be a more fun, more recently released books. Yeah, this one, I don't know. It was my hoarder shelf, my weird like author hoarder shelf. Anyway, thank you for watching.